All right. Yep, we should now be live. Hi, I am Kira858, and today we're playing episode 11 of It's Our World. But first, here at the Cookout, we always like to give love and support to different individuals in the community, different channels out there, out to perhaps take a look at, perhaps give some of their content a check out, and give it a follow. The first things first, I'll always like to give a shout out for is a good friend of mine. Her name is Rosebell Arts. She just had her stream anniversary literally just last Saturday and had breached past over 1,000 subscribers in that one stream anniversary. So she was doing a whole bunch of different unlocks, different content like a scary stream anniversary, TT German, and she was blowing past all of their goals. And she was absolutely shocked. It was a great time, just a great experience overall, and she deserves all of the support that she's receiving. She's an artist similar to myself. She's more on the anime side of the spectrum, but she's been one of my first friends here on Twitch. So if you can, definitely give her a follow and support her on her endeavors. The second individual lady to give a shout out for is actually a TTRP show called Shakar. It's a brand new show on the Bronze Girls channel, which is hilarious. It has Gabe, it has Xander, it has JCVIM, if you're familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, and the new individual by the name of Balvin. There's also a Bronze Girl is actually DMing, and every single episode, they only have 2 episodes, but the past 2 episodes they have knocked it out the park every single time. It was a credible show, absolutely funny. She releases, if you're not able to catch it on her Tuesday show, she does release her content on her YouTube's, I think that upcoming Sunday. So you can definitely watch the YouTube channel and see their content from there. But yeah, definitely give Shakar a look because it's a fantastic new show, and I look forward to it every week. And the last one we like to give a shout out for is on the other side of the spectrum. Is a TTRPG show called A Kids on a Bike on Roll 20. They're the DM for that show. Is actually also a DM slash player from Rivals of Waterdeep, which is a primary people of color TTRPG show on D&D. He's DMing this show with also a primary POC cast. And the characters in there are so endearing. Every single character in there you kind of root for, you feel for, and they're played so well. It has like the Hoppabarian, has a Hello There Shoe. There's the one from the lady actually from Hutter's Entertainment is actually on there. I think her name is like Bakia Bakari or something like that. She's on that show. And then there's another individual on there. But nevertheless, it's an absolutely fantastic show. It comes on Mondays at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, I hope they get a ton of support. So, like I said, definitely go ahead and give them a follow. So with that said, with all the shout outs, we'd like to go ahead and work down a list. Unfortunately, one of our players was not able to join us. Her apartment, Nezra, her apartment, was having some issues when it comes to technology. So, she might be able to join us a little later, but in the meantime, we're going ahead with our current cast. So we'll start first with Ree. Ree, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, any projects you're working on, and social media.
Of course. Hello, I am Ree, or Big Dude Ree on Twitter, where you can find me tweeting about various things. And no projects at the moment, but I'm super excited to play today, and we'll see if we get into any trouble.
Fantastic. Next, we have our DM, Fell Flames, in the house. If you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, your social medias, and perhaps your writing projects that you're working on.
Hello. I am right now working on a pitch contest that I've been working on some pitches for. It's a website called Go Scribbler. If anyone wants to look it up, they do a monthly contest. This week the prize is actually like a full manuscript review. They do like manuscript and chapter reviews and stuff. But you can follow me on Twitter at ZHaloMusings. And I'm very excited for the game tonight.
So just to clarify, is that Ghost Scribe content, is that voting based? Like, can we as individuals vote in for like to get you like first place or get an easier review? Or is it just like, You have to hope to be chosen.
It's like they have the people that own the website judge it, and you have to hope to be chosen. But it's kind of interesting. I do think that it's achievable and must be relatively fair, because I do have like a friend who is not like a well-known professional writer or anything, and she has won one of the contests before, so it's
Oh,
definitely possible. Yeah.
awesome. Well, if there's definitely anything we can do on that side, just let us know. Great. So we'll go ahead and work on our way down. Mimsy, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, your social medias, and any projects you're working on.
Hi everybody, I'm Mimsy or Morgan, whichever. You can find me on Instagram at Peachy Keen Arts, and currently don't have any projects, just busy with school.
The return of the school. I completely understand that. And last but certainly not least, the Bear Pen, aka Adrian B. You all should know about him because I shout out his channel regularly on my art stream. But we'll go ahead and let him talk about himself, any social medias, any projects that he's working on.
Hello, guys. Yeah, I'm Adrian. As Kira said, you can find me at the Bear Pen, pen with an H at the end of it, on Instagram. Well, not Instagram. Am I on Instagram? Maybe. Twitter is what I wanted to say. Twitter, and here on Twitch as well, and we've got the YouTube channel too, but that's not got its own URL yet, unfortunately. But yeah, just getting ready to release our TVT RPG content, and I do some gameplays and a whole bunch of other stuff planned, but step by step.
Awesome. And of course, last but of course, you all should know me. I am Kira858. I of course do art content. Continually work on my characters for my first upcoming comic for Snowstorm Comics. I've actually been working on some of the character designs. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We also may have some new projects, new possible TTRPGs coming on this channel in the near future. We're just going to leave it at that. As more information comes down the line, keep up to date. Of course, if you'd like to know more about things that's happening on our channel, you of course can follow our Discord, which I'll go ahead and put in chat. Where there you could be able to either talk about It's Our World, our campaign, fan art, ask of course the players some questions, as well as talk about some of the content from the other sessions, like the art channels, other things that we have in place, video games, so forth and so on. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and enter our introduction video for episode 11 of It's Our World.
Like,
and we are back. Hi, Soki. We're back for episode 11. And with that said, Fell Flames, take it away.
and taking it. So last we left off, you had met a new friend who, through Achilles, who apparently was not who she pretended to be. And you were brought to a foreign location using a teleportation circle you all popped up, and you were greeted by a man who introduced himself as Commander Huntsberry, whom you have heard of but not yet met, and he said, "Welcome to Resistance HQ." He continues, as you all enter, to say, "Although, I confess I wasn't expecting you. How did you get here? Not very many people know about that circle." I'm sorry. I'm being a terrible host. Please, come in, come in. We have a table. We will all sit down, and hopefully you'll tell me a story about how this came to be.
Careful.
Do you routinely welcome
What does this
people?
fella look like?
He actually looks a bit menacing in terms of his actual physical looks. I mean, he's strapped up in like full plate armor and not wearing it with a helmet. His head is actually completely shaven though. And he's got kind of like a very thick beard and mustache, almost like an overly long goatee type thing on his chin here, like for the bottom of his face. And he actually has like, you can see tattoos that come up his neck on one side and through, because he's not wearing any gauntlets on his hand, they kind of come down onto the area of his hand.
Well, thank you for the welcome. I don't think we were expecting this either, to be honest, but here we are. Where is here exactly?
Oh, right. Yeah. We're approximately 15, 16 miles outside of the crossroads and about 300 feet underground.
Right.
I'm sorry, underground.
Yeah, underground. And like looking around you, you can see and start picking up on the fact that like it's almost crafted like a dungeon where they forgot to like layer stone onto the walls. It's like a cave being supported by wooden arches of like an underground tunnel system. At least the section that you're in at the moment is what you see looking around.
15, 20 miles away from the crossroads. Well, he didn't mention direction, but how far away was it from the Gilga to the crossroads? More than that?
From Gilga, like from your
Yeah.
village to the crossroads? A little bit. Not by much.
Okay.
You all were able to travel there in about a day, but you also had to go through the forest, which slows you down a little bit. Like typically, you could be expected to cover about that distance in a day, but the forest slowed you down a bit. So maybe something like 20% more ish.
Okay.
So are you are the resistance to what exactly?
Well, to frankly, Bastion.
It's not nice. They corrupt dragons.
It's
There's
a bit more complex than that as well once we get into it. I'd be happy to give you a bit more information, though first I'd still be curious to hear your story about how you ended up here. And you get like a very sort of jovial presence. He's very like a bit charismatic but kind of commanding, but you gather there's like a bit of firmness, like you're going to tell me first how you happen to be here. But he's being very like, welcoming and warm with it at the moment.
Serena points at Achilles.
Well, true. I guess I did get us here sorted, right? I'm Achilles, by the way. It's nice to meet you. So
He does take your hand and shake it.
we got sent here by a friend of mine who, come to think of it, I don't think she's at all what she was claiming to be like, but that's besides the point. She told me her name was Maria, but at the Yawning Tail. Now, we found ourselves in a bit of a pickle here. You see, our friends who are not here at the moment, or who's with us? Is Daniel or Lyra with us, or we got them all out, right?
You have
Lady Celia's with us.
Lady
You have
Celia's
currently
with her.
Lady Celia and her 2 children, who are
Alright.
pretty young and like poking cog at the moment.
Did the butler come with us or no?
He would have came, right?
Yeah, he is with you.
Okay.
He has been standing very close to Lady Celia and her children since you all left the home.
Okay, my fox.
The lady Celia had found herself being under house arrest for falsified charges against her husband, like in the family, Lord Myrner. It appears that he had overheard some things being said by the High Lord Mardinal or Marginal?
Mardinal.
Mardinal, the High Lord Mardinal, which had put him in a bit of a bind. And, well, long story short, we needed to get them out because we had discovered, well, basically what had been going on with the dragons in Bastion and a few other things, like, and, you know, I have always been a person who tends to trust in the daily folk of the city, and I found Maria quite trustworthy, and she clearly shared the same sentiment and was kind enough to send us here.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Although, you all seem to be a bit... I gather there's probably a bit more to the story than that. You wouldn't mind going back a bit further.
Oh gosh. How far, like? Let's see. I met these 2 lovely fellas in my home village, and they needed a bit of assistance. And I met Serena as well. And we were traveling to the crossroads. And fellas, do you want to talk about your family, or did you want to keep that separate? That's entirely up to you.
Kara steps forward, looking at Nuvian first, then looking at the individual in front of him. It says, I think he kind of knows about it already, because he said it was more complicated than that.
I agree. It appears that these people know a bit. So I suppose being forthcoming would not be wrong, though I am not exactly trusting of people who are hiding under the earth.
Do you know what's happening to people like us?
I assume you mean the dragon folk?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. One of them is my cousin.
And we are here to retrieve her.
And that's what brings you to this land in general?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We were told by our auntie that we should go check on our cousin. And this was our first time even coming to this strange place. And then that's when we found out this city is not so nice. I had a feeling because even the people in the stores were saying things about dragons. I didn't know it was going to be this bad though.
Does that answer your questions?
A bit, but I can tell from the stances you all seem to be relatively close. I gather there's more to the journey that's brought you all together and here than the 2 of you looking for a cousin.
Well, there would be, like, you see, we had run into a wee bit of trouble in my own village of Gilga. There's an old fort there, which is a goblin fort, and it seemed to have been occupied by some kind of demonic creature, like a Bargus, I believe it was called. We had attacked it, driven it out and killed it. Well, I was just trying to ensure that our village would be properly taken care of, maybe get some of the army to sort of re-garrison the fort or build it up or something like. So that was my initial reason for traveling to the crossroads. But then Captain Marginal said that now, was this the commander that he mentioned?
Same name. At least he's claiming to be.
All right. Our Captain Marginal Forerunner had said that I believe it was you that had went missing or disappeared, but we might find you in Bastion. So we knew that the fella's cousin was in Bastion, so we decided to head there. And then, just in order to help someone out, really, we went and approached the Lady Celia here, whose daughter was missing. And that led us to a whole bunch of other things, discovering that Lord Myrner had been cursed by, I guess it was the High Lord Mardinald. We helped him get rid of his curse, and then we needed to get Lady Celia out once we had discovered what it was exactly that Lord Myrner had overheard the High Lord planning, which was the kidnapping of a dragon.
Wait, are you in trouble? Are you hurt? Did they say that he had like a battalion with him that went missing? And he starts looking around, trying to find if there's other people around.
Don't
Do you
believe
think
he's missing.
Do you think it's an easier story if the commander, the highest ranking military official within the city, goes missing, or if he's defected to form a resistance faction against the people right next door?
Got a point.
That was a ploy. Many months of disorganization can be caused by someone being assumed missing. They go looking for them. Eventually, maybe they're assumed dead or gone. But someone who's missing in action is a very different situation than someone who's defected. And Lieutenant Marginald, at great peril to his own life, has helped me create a bit of a ruse and chaos, and remained there in my stead because he's a very loyal man.
We do have friends, Daniel and Elia, and what was the other dude's name? It was with a D, right? Was it David? No.
Daniel. We have Daniel.
Are you talking about Harry?
Harry.
Yeah, I was like a D. I was like,
and our friends Harry, they are actually trying to make their way to the crossroads as we speak.
I'm familiar.
I believe we have been rather forthcoming with our information. If it is your turn.
As I was about to say, I owe you an apology, as I believe it's most likely that I'm the one that put Mr. Myrner into danger in the first place.
Care to explain that a little bit more?
Well, it helps to have friends in high places, as you can imagine, and I believe he may have been attempting to spy for me when he was caught.
I see.
That makes a bit of sense now.
So he did
if
it.
I have any other questions, I will ask them to you freely, he says, staring at Nuvian. But if you have any questions for me, I'd be willing to answer them if I can as well. Now, please, come in. And this time he actually turns around and starts physically walking down the tunnel.
Okay.
we'll follow along.
Okay.
Mm.
You come to a room that has like an arch, and it's kind of like a three-way meeting point. There's a little bit of a room. There's several tables in here, four of them. You see, there's also what looks like it's probably some sort of a cooking area. There's like a pit for a fire and a pot sort of hanging over it on some wood that comes up. And he gestures to the largest of the tables, which looks like, I mean, it's a pretty big table. It looks like it could probably seat like 15 or 20 people if you really tried to cram in. And he gestures to that one, that you all should have the seat, and he sort of slides in to one of the chairs as well. There is another man who kind of like comes from one of the adjacent passages, exchanges a quick couple of words with the commander, and then begins leading Lady Celia and her children down the other passage than the one he had just come from.
I did have a question. When we met our other friend, we met Nezra at the crossroads, she had been assigned by Captain Marginal to send a message, deliver a message to the High Cleric, Yuan Grier. Is he also involved in this resistance?
I can't say.
So then
We got used to that from Aya. I know what that means.
I guess then that already answers the other question of how many are a part of your resistance.
Many. Less than the forces of Bastion, of course, unfortunately, but more than a few.
A moment ago, you said the situations with our kind was more complicated than it appeared. Would you mind explaining in a bit more detail?
Dragons have always had a complex situation within societies. People with the marks of dragons aren't always looked upon favorably. They can be seen to have traits that people find undesirable, like rebelliousness, or fierce anger, or the disrespect for authority due to beliefs that they stem from a higher birth. Dragons themselves are quite varied. I'm no expert, but the way that I understand it, there are many different kinds in our own land, and abroad there are even more kinds, and each of them has a sort of distinctive and different personality type that tends to be associated with them, and of course individuals. It leads to even more variance. There is a history of Bastion using dragons as machines of war. So, yes, they aren't always seen favorably amongst the common people.
You said they were using dragons as tools of war, yet the people you've spoken to seem to believe they are in some sort of partnership.
That may be, but that is not the way that I've come to understand it from what my spy network has been able to uncover.
What have they uncovered?
That there is some sort of ritual that can turn an orb. They seem to vary in sizes, from my understanding, to the size of a small gemstone to something that might require a whole backpack to carry, larger than a crystal ball, in order to create a sort of bond by blood, you might call it, through some sort of a magical ritual. I'm afraid I'm not a master of the arcane arts, so I am not quite sure how to explain it beyond that. That is just my understanding.
Do you perhaps know where a person could get one of these things? I myself may be able to understand it a little bit better.
Well, if I knew that, we'd certainly be in a bit better of a position, though I suppose we're doing all right for ourselves. If I had to guess, you'd probably want to go up to their mountain fortress, though don't know that that's something that we're ready to readily accomplish. But maybe.
I don't think we should bring Nivian Orica anywhere near that temple at the moment, if I'm
I
being
tend
quite
to agree.
honest.
That's likely for the best. I would agree.
I have a question about your aims for the resistance.
Very well.
What is it that you're hoping to accomplish?
In the long term, the short term, or the medium term?
Well, let's start with the big picture.
Well, I'm hoping that we can eventually come to topple the Bastion and the Illwind armies that have taken over this region and installed themselves as a hostile military power that pretends to be stemming from some sort of holiness, but is actually an evil magical dictatorship.
Right. And what about the short term?
There are various different members as we've grown who have unfortunately found themselves in positions of authority wherein their secrets became harder to keep, in no part because people like yourselves, no offense, have been beginning to discover what was going on. Not everyone is willing to keep their mouth shut. There are several of these people that I would like to see liberated from their situations, from their jails, their home arrest, their magical fortress protections. There are several. In the short term, I would like to see these people released so that they might continue to work for our causes and that their association with us would not be met with an untimely end. It feels like a moral responsibility that I personally have.
Can I would like to know if Achilles' guides have anything to say about this in terms of what he's supposed to be doing with his life.
And how will you be attempting to discover this information?
I think he will have a little conversation with Catherine, because she's more or less, through my canon anyway, like linked to them.
Okay. What do you want to say to her?
So Achilles just puts his head in her head, and he's speaking to her a little bit in Celestial. I'm a little bit of a loss here, Catherine. We've kind of been plodding forward, haven't we? What do you think about this whole situation?
Hey, never look back, never surrender.
Her voice.
I mean, right. Fair enough. Well, I mean, Achilles wasn't super quiet about it, but he was, he wasn't whispering by any chance, but he wasn't shouting it. Nuvian would have heard him talking to Catherine. But I guess Catherine's voice comes in his head. um, hmm. Well, personally, I have one or two things that I might need to be doing. One of the bigger ones is I definitely want to be helping these fellas get their cousin out of the trouble that she's in, but I feel like that's going to be a larger, much larger problem and might need to start small there. The second one is more in terms of, well, I figure we might not be that far away from my family's farm, and I definitely need to speak to my mom about the possibility of family business. And thirdly, I am not very big on the idea of folks being held against their will and enslaved in any way. So for myself, at least, I think I would like to offer my services if I can.
Very noble of you, Achilles. Naturally, I believe Akara and myself have our own reasons for cooperating, though I don't exactly trust our companion here. And he would gesture to the gentleman, especially since you don't appear to have always been in rebellion, and I doubt the mistreatment of our kin started recently.
If you're making an accusation, I suggest you spit it out.
Well, not an accusation. I just find it interesting. You all were okay with the arrangement previously, were you not?
Do you not understand how the flow of information works? Is it possible
Incompetence
for
is
one
not
to
an
be with
excuse.
competence? I can see you've had a very long day, so I'll choose to forgive you this time.
Sure.
Next time, we'll perhaps be meeting on a dueling field.
Suit yourself.
What about you? And he gets like way gentler as he turns to Ikara. Do you share your brother's point of view?
All of this is really weird. I think, I'll be honest, I wouldn't go home. I wouldn't go talk to my aunt and my mom and tell them what's happening, because they need to know. They need to know that their niece and daughters and the other dragons are being captured. It could be rough, but at least with our family's help, it should make things a lot easier. They try to take care of the mountain, especially if some of the dragons are as old as some of them say. But yeah, I want to go home. This place doesn't like dragons, and I'm starting to not like this place.
You seek passage home.
Yeah, probably. What's with everybody? Because, well, I think that might be my best bet. Because otherwise, I don't really see how we could get much done with what they could do at the mountain. We need hope. And my family is really strong.
See. Well, if that's really what you want, or what your immediate goals are, I could probably assist you with procuring passage to wherever home is. Although I confess, I'm not precisely sure where that might be for you.
Oh, it's on the other continent. It's really far away.
Right. Which one?
Wait, there's more than one continent? Oh, my bad. Give me 1 second.
There's 3 in a large island.
So we can't. Give me 1 second, my bad.
I forgot the name of the continent.
I want to go home. Don't even know where home is.
You want to go? I just remember it's like Australia. I call it Australia, but give me 1 second.
We're on Strafaria, right? So
Is that
yours
where-
must be Strafaria.
Yeah.
Strafaria, yes.
Yeah.
And you say, Strafaria? Oh, the monastery. We could get our monks and our fellow monks from the monastery because they have an allyship to dragons too. Well, with our family, but if they hear what happens, they're not gonna like it either. So we can get our family and the monks together, right? Dad's not gonna like this.
Achilles will turn to Ikara and he's going to say to him, Lad, I've had a few conversations with your brother about my own purpose and my own life, and how sometimes it just feels like things are guiding you in one way or another way. I don't know what your own beliefs are, your own structure of higher powers or beliefs in a guiding hand of fate or destiny or anything like that. Something I do know is that I've watched you, and I've watched you walk amongst these people. I've watched you grow in the short time that I've known you, and I've watched you becoming what I believe, at least from the standpoint of me thinking about my own little brother, becoming what I believe your mother might have sent you here for in the first place. I don't know your mother, but I feel like I've gotten to know you two fairly well in the time that I've been here. And I think that your mother, like myself, has a heck of a lot of faith in the both of you. I don't believe she would have sent either of you out here if she didn't believe that both of you were more than capable of handling any situation put in front of you. Now, I do think you could go home, and that would be fine, no one would blame you. But I think you've got a lot in you that you don't even recognize yet. And I believe you could help change the way that dragons are perceived in this place. And you could help lead your people here to a better future. At least that's my perception of you.
He pauses, brought with a different outlook on content, because never heard of a idea like that before. He sits back in his chair. You can literally see on his face, like his eyes are darting back and forth, and there's like a surrounding rotation of thought inside his head. And then he looks up and he says, Well, maybe you're right. But I just feel bad knowing that all of this is going on and my family doesn't even know about it. At least you give them warning, especially because one is their daughter. I mean, I will feel bad. Like if something happened to Nuvian and I was like, I sent somebody to go, take care of Nuvian, and they found out it was a really bad idea, I would really hope they would tell me. Because I would go out as soon as possible. I mean, if Nuvia got in trouble, I'm not sure what I could do to help. But if I at least would like to know and see if I could try to do something. So, I don't know. But thank you.
There's potential we could try and send them a message like...
Commander, you said that you would help Ikara with what he requested, right?
That's what you all think is best.
if you want to try and send a message home, Ikara, that we can certainly try and find somebody.
Okay. I guess that could work for now and see what they say. I just want them to know what's happening so they won't be surprised about everything. And therefore they can make sure to keep, all of our other family over in Strafaria and not come over to this place. At least not now. It wouldn't be. I wish if they were to go do this, they should have did this to the red dragons that hated our family to begin with. I wouldn't have much problems. And then he sits back in his chair.
Catherine jumps off of Achilles' shoulder and she goes and sits on Ikara's lap.
Oh, hi. Yeah, well, at least they're not coming after you.
Hog sees this happen and is like clanking, just deep, deep, deep. And then sits and looks at Ikara.
Oh, both of them come up? I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, this is awesome. Thank you. Well, I wish I could speak to you all. Do you
I
speak
didn't tell him
Draconic?
to do that.
You did it?
I didn't tell him to do that.
Wait, are you dragon? I would think you're dragon. You look like a fox. How did you know? Ishai looks around to see if there's draconic key around it, and after he notices he doesn't see anything, he says, "Oh, you're curious. Well, thank you. Yes, this is
Catherine starts licking your hair.
Oh! He laughs and he looks around. He says, well, you two are great. Well, what? Even if things goes well, maybe I could take you all to Stravaria. What they do, it's a nice place. They're much nicer to dragons, that's for sure, than over here. But
I would love to see it.
yeah.
Our little sojourn to Bastion was honestly probably the most traveling I've ever done in my life.
It's a long way. Long way. We were traveling for what, like almost a month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long way. It's a really long way, and we're fast.
That you are.
Seen you run very fast. Cannot keep up.
It was a lot of time on a boat as well, and there were not very many people that were willing to make the journey because actually the water in between the two continents is pretty dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Very dangerous. I remember that.
In that case, it looks like we are decided. What about you, Serena? What will you do?
I mean, I've lived in Bastion my whole life. I guess I was too busy in my own studies to really realize what was going on, but now that I know, I want to help, even though it's possible my family might be involved.
Wait, your family?
The commander speaks and he says that's perhaps the best time to get involved.
You're right.
Wait, but you told me
yes,
to keep it a secret.
When we went to that city, it kind of came out, so it wasn't that much of a secret anymore.
Oh. Well, I did my job. I promise I kept it a secret. I didn't tell anyone.
Yes, thank you, Clara.
Oh, I'm sorry there, Serena. I jumped into your train of thought there.
Just fine. I am willing to join in helping.
Sounds like you have perhaps somewhere to go first.
I do. I have no real way of finding out if my father is okay or not. So it might be advisable for me to take a trip home to at least tell my mother, if she hasn't heard already, about the news about Erlorn, because I know at least my father was going there, and, well, you know,
Would you like to go and search for him?
I think first stop, seeing as we're closer, is at least to speak to my mom.
So, the two of you will be going to Strafaria, and he gestures at Nuvian and Ikara.
I will not be leaving until everyone is safe here. Kara, you are a bit younger, but ultimately it is still your decision.
Well,
So, you will be going to Strafaria, and he looks at Ikara.
I think we get if we can at least give a message, then maybe we don't have to go. But if there's no way to get a message to my family, then yeah, I definitely want to go and tell them. Look, if we could do a message, can they also do a message to your? Hey, he looks over to Achilles like, to your dad.
Could you perhaps write a letter?
How does that work? We don't normally do that where we're from.
Well, if you could write a letter, I could have someone deliver it without you needing to go personally.
He looks over to Nubian. Dude, but how would that get to Mom's cave? How would they know how to get there?
Well, you mentioned something about a monastery that should be easier to find.
Oh yes, that is at the monastery. Oh.
Perhaps he could arrange for its delivery if it were brought there.
Okay, so
That would work.
we can send a letter to the Shira monastery and then. Okay. I guess that.
Yes, I have a friend of mine who is a refugee from Erlorn who happens to be quite the powerful mage. I'm sure she would be willing to deliver it once she learns what you've already done for us, returning the Murner family.
Thank you. Oh, there's also.
You're very welcome.
There's also more allies that will be able to join us. There are more dragons. And they're friends of mine. They were able to get free from the bond. I think that's probably one of our best bets to see how we could be able to free the bonds of other dragons. Because if we could get more dragons, we should be able to help even the odds. Right?
Maybe so.
As a card says that Nubian would like to pay attention to him and see if he looks to be particularly interested in the idea of their big other dragons.
You're asking about the commander?
Yes.
Roll an insight check.
Sure. Oh, so close. 16.
So close to like rolling a 20.
Yeah, it was on a 20 and then it just went over to 8.
Well, 16 is still pretty good. He's tough to read. You gather that he's probably gotten a lot of practice trying to keep his emotions under belt. He doesn't seem surprised when you mention bringing other dragons into the fold. It's very neutral, like what you might expect from like someone who's aware that they don't really have control over a situation. It's your guys' choice, not his.
We will see how it goes. I'm not too keen on introducing our friends to more people until we can be sure we can trust them.
I wouldn't want any of your friends or family getting involved just yet, Ikara. You, Commander, you mentioned that there were people in the city, part of the resistance, who needed to be liberated, you said?
They're all over. I don't know of anyone left currently in the city, but there are certainly others who have been captured. Seems probably before you would have been able to learn of such a thing. I have one such family that a group of my men has managed to release from a cabin in some woods, actually, several miles outside of Bastion. Um, I know of a few other of these locations that they have brought people to. Um, Information is hard to keep under wraps sometimes. I've been fortunate enough to learn of several of these instances. Um, we're working on plans to get some of the others. We'd certainly take any help with that you'd be willing to give, though it sounds like while we're making our plans, you have several other pressing matters to attend to. And that is also all right.
We do, but for the time being, could you give us those names?
The names of the families?
Yes, the ones that are captured.
He says, sure, and I will type them out for you.
If we are able to help you, we will, but I personally don't use or require many things, but I know some of my companions may need arms. Could your people supply those?
Arms. Nuvian doesn't require arms, sorry. He's got like 6 of them sometimes. I don't know.
He's good.
Serena does say this, by the way.
He says the family names are Lord and Lady Shieldbringer, Lord and Lady Friendhall, the Kurtz, and the Brenners.
You said the Kurtz and the Halls?
And Brennels.
Brennels, okay.
Other people will also have it in their notes. Yeah, I know you cannot look at Zoom chat, but that's where it's located right now.
Yeah. I'll write it down for you, and I'll just send it to you on the other chat.
Yeah, no worries. Just a quick heads up.
I could start posting this stuff in the Discord.
Oh, cool. Yeah, just a quick heads up if I look at chat, it moves all the windows around. So of course I'm not able to see the Zoom window. Just a quick heads up. So Ikara will sit back and say,
Okay, so those families needs to be liberated. Just curious, how far is Bastion's reach? Is it just in Bastion, or do they have like other cities that have similar issues as such we have to worry about?
Unfortunately, they have tendrils. Not all of them deep, but they have tendrils in every city in this world.
Wait, in this place, in this continent?
Well, in this continent, yes. Probably even some reach into footholds in Strafaria, though I would doubt that there is such influence within your family, of course. It even would reach to your land. At least, that's my belief.
How familiar are we with Bastion's claim of a holy right, or whatever they say?
Like you all as people?
yeah, like from our areas
Yeah.
where we came from, like was this like common
I feel like-
information or?
The only one who would really know any sort of stuff about that and where Bastion, like what they believe, would be Serena.
Yeah.
It's not like something that you would have really even learned about as an organization, like before coming here, for Nuvian and Ikara.
Hmm.
Just because they have agents doesn't mean that they're public about that they're influencing these other areas over in Strafaria. Um, and Achilles, like, you probably would have heard of it, but you certainly never would have really seen too much about or heard too much about like what actually really goes on there. It's just like the city, you know, when you're have like more of a farm boy sort of style of living for that long. There's like the city and the big city.
Mm-hmm.
The city was the crossroads, and that's typically where you all would go if you needed to access a major city for whatever reason. So everything you know about Bastion is second or third hand.
Okay. So
Cern is definitely familiar with their claims. They basically claim this whole continent, though their sphere of influence hasn't really gone that far, and you probably always interpreted it that more as like a, well, you know, we were here and have this, you know, holy light that we needed to spread, and like you were just like probably would have seen it as like the talkings of old lords and ladies, right? You didn't realize that there were actual plans that they had to try to expand that sphere of influence.
Okay.
So that seems to be the case based on the conversation. You, Serena would know, and Achilles would possibly also have heard it. Actually, Achilles, roll me a history check. That will determine if you've sort of heard this story or not. Serena would know that there was a major war about 50 years ago. So how old is Serena?
23.
Yeah, so she was not alive, but you would have heard the stories. And uh, basically, the region with Grazim, the Maw, and Erlorn was taken over 50 years ago in that war. Erlorn, of course, is now a defunct city, but that area was taken over in one of the major wars. Ringi, Bastion, and the Crossroads, plus the sort of surrounding uh, villages, were all sort of part of the initial um, establishment of the Ilwind armies. The Erlorn, Maw, and Grazim sort of coastline down there, if you're looking at the map, was taken over in a war 50 years ago, which did involve the use of dragons. In fact, Barano and Becerro are written in history as the major deciding factor that won them the war.
I only rolled a 7, so I definitely don't know any about that.
Yeah, you don't. Serena, of course, can tell you all about it, but
Okay.
Want a bedtime story? Come to Serena.
bedtime story. So there are these dragons, which apparently were under the control of some people with like weird magic rituals and stuff, and they burned a lot of people. Like, oh,
Yep.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet
lightning.
dreams.
I guess they're bronze dragons. That would be what, acid? Or
Oh,
do they have, like-
Lightning?
Bronze is, yeah, bronze is lightning.
Well, I don't remember.
Yeah, bronze is
yeah,
lightning.
lightning.
Mm-hmm. So Ikara will say,
So, just also for curious, was there any news or information about possible red dragons here?
Any information about red dragons here?
Mm-hmm.
Let me think for a moment, because he actually needs to roll a history check for this. No, unfortunately, I haven't heard of any red dragons making their way to this this land. That feels like good news to me. Is that good news?
Yes, I I think so. I just wanted to make sure that they have no part to play in all of this. I don't think they would. Hopefully not. But yeah, we
Hopefully
have
not.
we have uh, a bad history with a red dragon clan from Strafaria. So I just wanted to make sure that nothing was they were doing anything on this side as well.
I don't believe so. Although, if it would bring you some comfort, I can have my spies dig into it a bit more deeply.
Yes, thank you.
I do have a question, like about the. You mentioned the religious belief. What religion exactly are they trying to follow the tenets of, or which god do they believe?
A fascinating question, Achilles. That sounds like a good place to take our 15-minute break. Actually, let's do 10.
What a curveball! I was not ready for that. All right, so so we're gonna go ahead and take our 10-minute break. So we should be back at the top of the hour. I hope you all are enjoying our session 11 episode of It's Our World. If you like what you're seeing and would like to talk to the cast, perhaps ask questions to some of the players, talk about the storylines or perhaps fan art, you could join our Discord, which I will place in chat, where we have a specific section for spoilers as well as not spoilers content. And like I said, we are more willing to chat with y'all about our current dealings. And so we're going to go our break, meet you all at the top of the hour, and look forward to see you all soon. Take care for now. All right. Yep, we are now back for the second half of It's Our World. Fell Flames, take it away.
All right. So you had just asked about the religious affiliations of the Bastion city, and he kind of pauses for a moment, and he says, "You know what? I'm actually not entirely sure. I just know that whatever it is, it's not what they pretend to be. It's darker."
In what way would you say it's darker?
Um, Here, a moment, and he like starts looking around, and he's like, "Wait here," and he disappears for a bit. It's about 10 minutes later that he actually returns, and he unfurls a map similar to the map that you've seen, except this one in the upper northeast corner has the mirrored Bastion dot that you all had not seen before on your other maps.
So they just couldn't think of two different names for a city. Like, how does this?
It's Bastion, and that's also Bastion.
It's a bit more complicated than that. Some of my more arcane compatriots, and he's like really scratching his head on this one, feel as though there's perhaps some sort of like, and he is making like weird gestures with his hands, sympathetic magical connection between the two places.
Okay.
All
Does that
right.
mean anything?
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I've heard
Can I
anything
also?
like this?
I was about to say,
Can I also make the check as well?
Ikara has a blue screen of
Yeah,
death.
everybody just toss out Arcana checks.
Let's
It
go.
is clearly tired.
I'm
'cause I
sure
rolled a
that
5.
won't accidentally get you bad information if you just all throwing Arcana checks.
Ikara had a blue screen of death moment when he heard that information. He was just like bleep 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 bleep. So yeah, there's no Ikara check inside. He just like
I'm
frozen.
rolling.
Yeah, Nubian has absolutely no clue though.
I did real bad.
I'm rolling.
Roll
Five,
that.
yo. That's
Usually
not good.
Serena just gets those like 27. What'd you get?
18.
Not as good as I have come to expect from you, but pretty decent. Um,
I mean, it's no 5, but it's fine. That's
You know what, Achilles? Sympathetic magic, that sounds like some magic that maybe some people made up at some point. It probably exists. That seems legit. I mean, there's botanical magic, there's fire magic, sympathetic magic. Why not? Why not?
We went to that weird town one time, so it could be possible.
Could be possible.
What's botanical magic?
Bruh.
You ain't heard botanical magic?
Y'all ain't ever seen a plant growth spell now? Come
Botanical
on.
magic.
Come on, bruh.
Come on, Nubian. Weren't you in the woods for like years?
That's where supplantation came from, right there. Was next to the botanical magic. Oh, crap.
No, so Serena, what you're able to determine as far as you can tell, sympathetic magic basically means connecting two different things so that influences upon one influence other. It seems very odd and highly arcane and powerful to be able to accomplish that feat with two different cities, but theoretically with like a powerful enough artifact or a spellcaster of archmage level, perhaps something like that could be done.
Mm-hmm. Question: where did you get this map?
This one, it's been drawn by a few people that I know who have come into contact with humans that have actually made their way to such a city. The information on what is there is sparing, but the bastion to the northeast seems to be well. What sorts of things did your parents tell you about in your bedtime stories?
Well, I mean, honestly, they didn't read me many.
Um, it's said to be a city of demons and devils.
Oh, like, she points to her head.
Yes, although my understanding is that most of them aren't quite as pleasant as you have been thus far.
Hmm. That is pretty troubling. This is a lot more complicated than we thought, Ikara.
So, is that why you're afraid of going into the church? Was because of what happened at Bastion? The other Bastion?
I've never been to the other Bastion.
Hmm.
I was scared because, well, I guess maybe it is related. Usually you don't see a tiefling or devil or demon go into a church. So
this place is bad?
I would say so.
Well, it can't be bad. I mean, you're good, so there has to be good people there.
Perhaps did the people who went to this other bastion say anything else other than that?
Some very vague reports. There was a group of men in red robes who performed some kind of ritual that destroyed thousands of demons and devils at once in the bleachers of some strange gladiator tournament event. They don't represent any sort of organization that I'm aware of,
Mm-hmm.
but that certainly was odd. There are humans there, but they're humans that are a bit unsavory, more money motivated, you might say, and willing to carry out tasks for those who are truly in control of such a city. Reports of murder in the streets and something about like multiple rings around the city, and no one that I'm aware of has been able to get past the first ring.
Sounds like this Bastion. They're both pretty bad.
Yeah, but I mean, sounds like both are a bit of an issue, especially if they're connected in the way that you say that they are.
So I imagine that eventually, whatever fight gets brought would need to be brought there to the other one.
Eventually. I'm not sure we can say that it's truly over if such a city never falls.
Aye.
Well, currently, right now in our state, I would say that we're not ready to take on anybody at the moment.
You sure you don't just want to move to Travaria? It's much nicer here. I mean, we have dangerous animals, and red dragons, but that's pretty much it. It's safer than here.
Maybe, but You have to think back of what Achilles said, and also, I want to make sure that my family, even though they kind of cast me out, I want to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Aye. Well, how are the rest of you holding up, by the way? Because I know you maybe had a bit more of a to do getting the mariners out than we did. Do you need a rest? Like,
Oh,
I could go for a rest, yeah.
Ikara stretches his arms.
He says, "No, I'm good. We fought people, but it wasn't too bad. The Burnos helped us out."
We do need to tell you both what happened, Ikara. She just looks at him.
Wait,
Like
what?
in the kitchen, remember?
Wait, I just punched somebody. He said,
Yes.
He said I was going to die. You can't threaten a dragon like that.
I understand it was very much a self-defense thing. It was the area that you punched this fellow.
Is that bad?
Serena just looks at Achilles and Nuvian like, I don't know how to explain this. I lack the equipment, so...
He hasn't gone through puberty, so he doesn't know those things hurt you.
where did you punch this fella? Like, I mean, I've seen you punch people before, but
Oh, right at the pee-pee.
He also killed this man.
Yeah.
Lad, I don't know where to begin.
So no pleasure people at the pee-pee? But why is the pee-pee worse than the face?
I mean, there's like accords of war, lad. You don't. I mean, rather just don't. Anywhere else, like, but you know, I mean, unless he was doing something particularly unsavory to, you know, somebody that warranted that, then yes. But
So pee-pee
normally,
is that bad?
I mean,
And so you will not be traveling with them ever again.
Nuvian, we did not tell him to do that.
Elbow strikes done to the kneecaps tend to be rather effective as well.
Oh.
That works too. It was around the same area, so I just punched up, and that's where my fist hit. And target right at the pee-pee. But I didn't know pee-pee was that bad. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I go to... Wait.
I think I'm feeling a bit nauseous, like, but it's okay. Just next time.
You said something, Achilles, about wanting to send a letter or get information to your parents as well, right?
Well,
Yes.
you said we're about 16 or so miles away from the crossroads?
Yeah, something like that.
My family doesn't live too far from here, I think, depending on the direction that we're at, to be honest, but...
We're towards the north.
Gilgo was a bit southeast?
Wrong direction, yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know where Gilgo is?
Please hold.
Gotta roll that check.
Nope. Never heard of such a place, I'm afraid.
Is the map still out?
Yeah.
I'll just show him on the map. Catherine jumps out of a car as lap onto the table.
Oh, yeah, that's
she puts
something
her
about...
nose.
And he gets like a ruler, kind of like places it. It's like maybe 28 miles from here, something.
28.
And
So that
mind
would be-
you, the place you're at is not marked on the map.
Okay. So that would be about a day's travel about.
Doesn't seem too bad.
would you mind taking a little sojourn with me? Because a letter is all right, like, but if we're that close, I wouldn't mind directly speaking to them.
Well, I can definitely send some men with you. I was actually thinking that place you mentioned, the abandoned fort.
Aye.
If there aren't already some men there yet that have taken up the place, it might be a good place to have a couple of people as a sort of forward base, something more above ground, another area of influence. What do you think?
I'm for it. Like, would it need to be disguised at all? Because if, other soldiers from the city came, wouldn't they notice?
Well, I was thinking just a couple of men who could maybe hide in such a situation. Perhaps we try to get them some dressings of proper shoulder. That soldier, that should be possible, given the areas that we're plugged into.
It sounds like a good idea, I think.
Do you happen
For
to know?
now,
Oh,
go on.
do you happen to know what that base used to be?
Hmm.
Come
Well,
on.
if he's not familiar with Gilga, I guess he could maybe still know about the military base.
He doesn't know where that whole village.
Okay. He missed the whole village, but he knows about the fort. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna make that make sense, I guess.
It's like, oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh, there was a fort to the south of the crossroads. I think you said that was about the area. There's a fort to the south of there that used to be manned as sort of an elvish embassy of sorts. A long, long time ago, before the elves sort of pulled themselves from the various different embassies around the area. As well, I suppose as the Elwins took over, they seemed to retreat from the area.
Do you know why we would find a dragon claw there?
I confess I don't.
Did you find a dragon claw there, class?
Mm-hmm. It was in one of the rooms. So I was like, there must be doing something with dragons there. But we just found it. And when we showed it to Bernos and such, they didn't know either.
Strange.
Are many
We'll have-
strange events?
Yeah. We might have to talk about that a little bit later.
Okay. Do you have news? Okay, well, later.
Considering it's still
Well-
nighttime, like, I don't believe it's probably wise to leave now or anything.
I wouldn't say so. Do the three of you plan on accompanying him as well to the village?
Yes.
Of course.
And what about you, Miss Nezra? Yeah, I'm gonna come too. Oh, okay. Very good to hear. Completely understandable. Thank you for speaking up on the matter.
Sounding a little different
Well-
than Ezra.
Oh,
Oh.
can I ask a different sort of question? Because I don't know how well equipped this base is, but do you happen to have a forge of any sort, anything that needs working? I kind of need to think, and I'm a blacksmith by trade.
You know, I don't believe that we do. I probably have some raw materials around that you might be able to do some work with, or perhaps some repairs. If that were something you'd be willing to do, sharpening.
Oh,
But
that would be
unfortunately,
good.
we don't really have a chimney leading to the outside. In a place like this, one dug that far up would have to be uh, pretty noticeable to the contents underneath in order for it to be structurally sound, I would imagine. So, but yeah, I can certainly provide you some tools to repair, sharpen weaponry. Would
Thank
that
you.
help you think?
Oh, it just clears my mind.
Understood. If you all will write the letter tonight, I'll send word so that it might be delivered tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Would that work?
Mm,
That is fun.
how can wait? Well, how can we get in contact with you?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, after we leave, I don't even know where we are.
Well, several of you look rather tired. I was figuring that we'd need to make up a place for you to stay here tonight.
But I mean, we're leaving tomorrow, right? So when the letter, if they send a letter back, I how would I know that there was a letter back? Or other stuff, like if we were to find you.
Well, it hopefully would not take that long to deliver.
Wait,
And I reckon we'll be coming back here after. Yeah.
Possibly.
how fast can you deliver this letter? It's like it took us like a month to get here.
Well, as I mentioned a bit earlier, I have a friend who's close to the Resistance who is a refugee of Airlorn's destruction and happens to be a mage of some repute.
Oh, magic? Oh.
She'll be delivering the letter herself. Her name is Alyssa Yortham.
To the notes. Okay.
I will put that into the Discord for you all as well.
Thank you.
Wow. You could do a lot of stuff with magic. Teleport all the way over there? He looks over to Serena. Wait, can you teleport?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry to disappoint. I cannot do that.
so magic is different. Like key.
Everybody's magic is a little bit different.
Hmm.
He nods, pondering upon that.
Okay. Wait, so will we ever need to come back here?
Mhm.
I don't know where we are.
That's
Besides, if you, for whatever reason, aren't able to return, I will be able to get a message to you, at least the contents of it.
I feel like we'll be all right.
for the time being.
Let us prepare ourselves for tomorrow.
Before we do that, Commander, could I talk to you for a second?
Of course. Walk with me. We'll find someone to sort out the accommodations for your party.
Okay.
You have a private conversation available to you now.
Great. So once they're at least out of earshot, she will ask, you know how I mentioned that I am from Bastion, correct? And that my family...
And then Ikara pops his head in.
No!
I'm kidding.
Surprise!
Like, get out of here.
Yes, I recall.
And that they might be involved. Do you know of anything of the Shadowheart family?
This one's gonna be with advantage, so hopefully we can actually.
Come on,
roll
man.
here. I've heard of them, although I confess I'm not the most familiar.
Okay. Do you know of any of their involvement in this whole mess, possibly?
Hmm. I'm afraid I don't have very good news as far as that's concerned.
I see. If you're willing, I'd still like to hear it.
I've heard rumors that there was someone under that name who was vying for the opportunity to replace an Archon that has fallen out of favor. I don't have any lines of communication with them, which tells me they're not on our side.
Well, thank you for telling me that. Did you happen to know if this person is magically inclined?
Yes. All of the Archons are, actually.
Oh. Probably should have known that. But okay. Well, thank you for telling me that. It's not great news, but I at least now know.
Of course. Also, while we're at it, here, and he opens a cabinet, and you can see there's a bunch of strange rocks inside of the cabinet. They're all like relatively similar, but there is some like variance in their shape and size. And he grabs two of them and hands one of them to you.
Okay.
This is a sending stone. Your friends seem quite troubled by our opportunity to communicate in the future, should you need to find this place again. This will help you get a message to me. I have several of them. Each of them is labeled, so that I'm aware of which line is being communicated across.
Can I still see the rocks?
Mhm.
Can I try and sneaky look to see if I see any names that I recognize?
Sure. Yeah. Roll. It's kind of like a What's your passive perception?
That is a 9.
Okay, so you're more actively trying to look, but you're also trying to do so sneakily. So roll a perception and roll a stealth.
Gotcha. Alright. Comes the perception. Oh, that's a 0. I rolled a nat 1 and I have a -1 to my perception.
Wait,
You know,
did
it's
you just
not
go
really your
blind?
fault. You know, it's not really your fault. It's the cabinet's like really dark and the crystals, they're not really like glowing. So, you know, you're in a tunnel. It's like, can anyone blame you, really?
Great. Do you still want me to roll that stealth roll?
Yep.
Gotcha. That is a 6. Oh, wait, no. Plus. I rolled a 6, but. That's a 15.
You might not beat that. He did not beat that.
Great.
You successfully succeed. I have rolled a 2, like straight up 5 times this session. I don't know what is going on with this commander, dude. You should have agreed to the duel, Nuvian.
Yep. You should have
You might
agreed.
have got
You
that.
might would have won. Like
Can't
60.
roll above it.
Monders had a long day.
You can touch these hands anytime.
All of them, right?
all 6 of them.
10, get hit from 10 feet away, dog. That's all I'm saying. 10 feet away. That's a lot of feet. That's a lot of feet to cover, dog. That's a lot of distance.
Anything else you wanted to speak about?
No, thank you for this. I'll go ahead and tell everybody about.
Sure. And Thomas, find them a room. And he's like, yeah, okay. Looks to be like maybe a 20, 22-year-old person, about your age.
Oh. Hi.
Although they, of course, are not, it's just a human. He's not a special tiefling like you.
Aw.
Just a normal dude. Normal Thomas.
Just hi, Thomas. Just find a room, I guess.
No, he's looking for the room for you. So you need to decide, like, are you just going back to the party right now while they figure it out, or are you just gonna hang out and by the cabinet and hope that he leaves so you can sneak another peek?
Oh. I kind of want to wait.
I accidentally made you realize you had another option.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you said, "Oh," I was like,
I figured that's what you were going for, but you win some, you lose some. That's my slip up. Okay. So the commander, it does kind of sit there for a moment. He's like, anything else?
Oh,
No? Okay.
actually, your mustache is amazing, sir.
Well. Thank you. I'll see you all in the morning to see you off. And then he walks off somewhere.
Cool. I look at the cabinet.
Go ahead. What are you looking for? Are you like investigating, actively turning over everything, trying to read the names, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Just I'm not like gonna like throw them or anything, but just
Okay.
see if there's any names we recognize.
Roll an investigation check, and if you want to spend some time doing so, that was lightning. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's lightning. You can do so with advantage if you're like taking your time, really like looking at every single rock.
I don't think I'm gonna need that because I rolled a 17. That is a 28.
Yeah. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Infernal, Draconic, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay, so you can read some of them. Some of them appear to be written in a language that you do not recognize. But you can read the ones that are in common. And you can read a couple that are in Thieves' Cant.
Ooh.
You're just like looking for names that you recognize?
Yeah, at this point.
I really don't want to like lord every single name that you can read that's on here, because there are genuinely like probably 10 of them or 20 of them rather that you can actually read. That's a lot of names. Yeah, so two that you recognize. One, Alyssa Yorthan. Two, the Archon Maria Nerdon is on there. But the third name that you recognize, and this is going to be a little bit of an ooh moment for you, has the same last name as Achilles.
Does it? No. First name or just last name?
Achilles, help me out. I don't have it top of mind. What is your father's first name?
Kieran.
There you go, Kieran.
Okay. I guess that's as much as she's gonna look in there because she don't recognize the other ones, or she's
Or they're written in a language that you don't understand,
like,
and sort of hurts your brain to look at.
all right.
Cool. You all eventually get your room. Ikara, you set about writing a letter. What are the contents of this letter? And what language is it written in?
Oh, definitely Draconic. He doesn't speak to his mom in common. That's that'd be
You
weird.
about to get back. You about to get back a reply. Listen here, boy. You don't send common to me
Yeah,
ever again.
yeah. Like you've been spending way too much time in that Bastion
Takes
city.
psychic damage when you get.
Yep.
Yeah, so it definitely would. Yeah, they only speak in Draconic. So he will be writing a letter in Draconic, specifically saying, "Hi, Mom," and then also, please also give this to Auntie. 1 second. Family history.
Yo, recite the whole family, dog.
Oh no, not yet. Don't need to. There we go, Elena, and then this one. I think she
Hi,
was.
Mom. It's
yeah.
Ikara, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So I think Cecilia is Delinda's daughter. So he says, please also give this letter to Auntie Delinda. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Because Delinda's the mom. It would be Epotemis, Epotemis. That's why I put it in there. There is essentially, no, he would say essentially. There is issues in Bastion. They are taking dragons and enslaving them against their wish. This includes our cousin, Cecilia. We need a lot of help because there are dragons, which includes ancient dragons. Yeah, it would be a crayon. it would be a crayon.
I like to imagine that there's like pictures drawn in, like a person saying mean stuff to like a really big dragon, and then like a highly detailed like sad face and crayon.
And even the letters are super huge. Like they're much bigger than what they're supposed to be. Like like you know when you're in kindergarten and you had to practice in those big old boxes. That's exactly how he writes. So he would say, they have ancient dragons joining with them. I'm not sure we could do this on our own. We may need help. We found bronze dragons that would help, but they say we need a lot more help. Nobody has mentioned anything about red dragons, so I don't think the Utis family, the Utis Red Dragon clan, is part of this. But so far, I've not seen anything from the Utis family here. So we should hopefully be safe from that front. I will still keep a lookout on regarding the Utis. And if I see any Red Dragon content, I will let you know. But we probably need help.
Okay.
A
guard comes about halfway through writing the letter, saying that his job is to make sure that your letter gets delivered to Alyssa. And then when he sees you're not done writing yet, he waits, obviously. Are you willing to give it to the guard?
And he'll look up and says, "Oh, are you Alyssa?"
Oh no. I'm sorry. My name's Thomas. I'm supposed to make sure that this letter gets to Alyssa.
He's gonna look at this individual up and down, cause he remembers hearing the name Thomas from the other building that they came through. That was an evil Thomas. That was a guard, and he'll look. Does he looks familiar to the other Thomas that was younger that got killed, or does he look completely
He does,
different?
he does not.
Okay.
Serena recognizes him as the same guard from earlier, who seems to have been kind of like attached to your party to help you all out.
Okay. So after that first, he has like a quick squint of the eyes. He's like,
So this
"Yeah,
guy just watches as you're just kind of like,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Okay. Pretty much. He said, "Oh, okay. All right, here you go. Can you give this to Alice for me, please?"
Yeah. Definitely. And you can take it, and you see he's like a bit hesitant. Um, it's why is Dragonborn looking at me, and is he about to breathe fire on me? Hesitation. Because you were looking up him up and down, but then as he's taking it and like hears you very bubbly, like, okay, take this, please. He's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. And then he salutes you.
He kind of follows suit, but then he just goes back to like just a bow because he feels that's much more comfortable than a salute.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything else. He just heads off.
Okay.
You all have a little room that's kind of like probably about an 8-foot hallway separating it off from one of the other tunnels, leads into like another dugout area. It's about 20 by 15 feet, probably. Definitely enough to sort of get all of your bedrolls laid out. You can see there's actually like basically like bed frames to put them on, like small little wooden boxes that have like supports in it with a layering that the bedroll goes on top of. And those are your accommodations for the evening.
Later, Achilles is wherever he was laid to be able to do like the sharpening of the swords and their axes and stuff like that, and he's sort of gone through the process of like putting himself in the mindset of being by the forge. So he's like got his shirt down, and he's taken the blindfold off and sort of wrapped it around his arms, and he's just sitting there, and he's thinking, meditating while he's sharpening these things. He'll spend a couple of hours there before going to bed.
Okay. Anyone else have stuff that they want to make sure they get accomplished with the evening before you all take a long rest?
As Serena always does, she'll cast alarm around her so Cog can wake her up.
Okay.
Ikara will go towards Serena and says,
Oh, you say you wanted to talk about the Dragon Claw?
Oh, yes. Do you happen to have it with you still?
Mm-hmm.
wait, just to verify, did I have it or Nuvia had it?
I think you let Ikara keep it, didn't you, Nuvian? You originally
Yeah,
had
I
it.
think so.
thought.
I think so. It went back and forth for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think Ikara showed interest in it, and so Nuvian was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. so he'll take it out from the back and present it to him. He has it within both of his hands and kind of slides it for him. What looks like a very kind of like honorific gesture. Like instead of like holding out with palms, he actually grabs it by like the tips of his thumbs and his index fingers, and then presents it forward with both hands and says,
Here it is.
So formal. She'll take it. And I would like to do an Arcana check on it.
Okay, go ahead and mark on it.
On dice. That's 16.
I mean, dragon claws have some like described uses that you've heard of in magical dealings, spell casting. None that you probably would want to tell them about right now, but you do know that there are uses for that in general. Aside from that, like it doesn't appear to have any markings of like inherent arcane properties with this claw in particular.
Okay, and is it like an actual like dragon claw?
Yeah, no, it's like knife-sized, like dragon claw,
Okay, what color is it again?
just like a silvery talon claw color.
Okay. And she'll hand it back. It's like, well, maybe it's because I'm a little tired, but I thought maybe I could see something your monk friend didn't, or I don't know really. All of this is confusing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I don't understand this place. But
And he'll take another look at the claw. Like, by claw size per se, can I get like a rough estimate of perhaps what this claw may belong to? Like, does the size look like it would belong to like a young or adult, or does it perhaps see like a claw that's more seen on like bronze or silver? Like, can I gauge anything regarding from this claw itself that may be able to further expand upon?
Not really. It's fairly old. You guys recognize that, I believe, the first time that you all had seen it. A lot of that would have probably just been met with decay. So at the moment, it just looks like a dragon claw. I mean, it would make for a pretty slick dagger if you were to try to craft it into one. It's like actually like still maintained being pretty sharp, and it's a pretty decent size. But aside from that, like getting other information about the physical properties of what kind of dragon it came from is pretty difficult.
Okay. So he'll sit back and says,
Sorry, it's not pretty difficult. It's impossible, which is why I'm not having you roll in this particular.
no worries, no worries. So yeah, so he sits back and says, like,
yeah, it's really weird. So I guess nobody really seemed to know about this stuff happening, which is sad. But I where are other dragons mostly seen at in this place? You said there was located some, of course, in the peaks, but there has to be other places besides the peaks, right?
I would assume so. DM, given Serena's interest in dragons, would she maybe?
Roll me history.
Okay. Where's my modifier? Okay, come on.
I'll also accept Arcana.
They're both the same. Okay. That is a 22.
ooh, okay. Let's go.
Sorry. Apologies, I was not prepared for this. I need to check a typing.
Oh, no worries. I regularly go back to the notes of my content. I just have one character to worry about, so I completely understand.
Is it? The only one that you know of is a green dragon that actually stays amongst the elves. In the upper areas of the map, if you look in the northeast, there's Dissadim and Rizadim. Those are elven cities. Somewhere in those Twin Cities or the surrounding wooded area, there lives a green dragon, um, which is a bit odd, which you'll be able to figure out between you, Nuvian, and Ikara, because typically chromatic dragons are not really aligned with the good of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Green dragons, in particular, tend to be vicious and cunning, like sort of trickster dragons. So it's a bit odd, but you do know that there is like a revered, respected green dragon amongst the elves of Rizadine and Disadine.
Yeah, Serena will tell Ikara that.
Oh,
Sorry,
agreed.
with that history check of above 20, you'll also know that there are rumors of some of them in the mountainous area of the dwarves, where you see in the south there's Dunderdome, Underpass, and Apex on the map. There's
Mhm.
rumors that in those mountains, the dwarves are underneath it, but living on top of the mountains, there's rumored to be dragons. You don't know what type, no one's really too particular. It's like various different theories. You don't know of any confirmed like sightings or recordings. Um, you do know of a couple of parties that have gone up there and never returned, which just helped feed into the rumors that there might be dragons up there.
Okay. So yeah, she'll tell Ikara.
Okay. So we know for certain that there's green dragons in Riverdene. It's a wow. See, if a green dragon is nice, they should not have like bad viewpoint on us. But yeah, so we could go. I'm thinking what our best bets is to get more dragons to help us out. So if we could go to what they go to Riverdene, we could tell the green dragon what happened. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to like it because they probably are going to go after them eventually too. And then once we could convince the green dragon to join us, then we could go to the mountains to see if there's more dragons there, because they're probably even more at risk because they don't have two cities to protect them. They're just by themselves. And then we have a full dragon army, and then they will feel our wrath.
Ikara's so cute. I love him.
Thomas comes back and he's like, a little bit scary, but I love the attitude, honestly. Great work.
He's got such a wonderful attitude about everything, doesn't he?
Thank you.
Yes. Did you all need anything else tonight? Like, can I bring you any food or something? Some soup, maybe?
I'm good.
Cool. I'll get out of your way then. But
Actually, Thomas, do you maybe have like an extra blanket around here or something?
oh, I'm sure we do. Sure, yeah.
I'm just kind of cold in here, just a little bit.
It is a bit drafty down here. Not gonna lie. Okay, yeah, I'll be back in a bit.
Thank you.
So what do you think? Good plan, right?
It's definitely one that we will have to run by everybody just to make sure we're all, on the same, part of the same plan.
Okay.
Really cool with the plan. This is miserable, by the way, then yeah, I'm totally down.
Mr. sounds a little sick today.
I know, no strings for going down.
It's that sacred flame throat she's got going on.
Yeah.
He says, okay, I think I'm good. So, yeah, I'm going to go rest now because I think there's all we could do for now, right?
I think that would be best. We did just, kind of escape a whole city. And now, with all the information that we know now, I think I'm ready for bed.
Oh, wait.
Don't forget the frontal assault on a mansion.
Wait.
That too.
I'll be right back. Let me go see if I can find Thomas.
Okay.
So he walks.
You are faster than him, so yeah, you find him.
he like points on Thomas's cloak. He says,
Um, Kay, where is Cecilia and her children at?
Oh, they're just a bit down from you. There's like if you turn right going out of your area, there's like you gotta pass one, and then you go down, and then it's the next one.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back.
and then he's going to follow
No
the.
problem. He salutes you again.
And he of course does a deeper bow, and he just darts off. Yep, ninja vanish off, and it follows the instructions.
Thomas just watches for a second. He's like, "Is that man running up the wall?" Okay, yep, he's gone.
What is the quickest way to get from point A to point B? The wall. Okay, got it. So and so he once he makes
Got to build that forward momentum, you know. Just
yep. And then once he makes his way to the door, he'll knock on the door. It's like,
Hi, this is Ikara. Is anyone here?
yeah. The little girl answers the door, and she says, "Hello, welcome to our home."
okay, does he open it or does he keep it?
She does open it. I mean, like, you could go through them. Like, it's not. Sorry, it's not very open, but it's open enough that you can like kind of see into it. She's like 4, so her opening the door is like 12 inches worth of space to like go talk to you through it.
And he'll look down. He says, "Oh, thank you." And then he'll step his way inside to look at the group. He says,
And so for one, I'm Ikara. I just wanted to let you all know that your family is safe in the crossroads.
Oh, thank you. That's very good. I believe I had gathered that from the conversation before we left, but thank you.
Okay. Um, are you all planning on staying here, or did you all wanted to go to the crossroads with your family?
I think we'll be trying to send word so that they can meet us here. It doesn't feel like we can be safe long term in the crossroads. I'm sure they're still going to be looking for us.
Yeah, that's true. Um, yeah. So, okay, why did they take you all away? Why did they keep you secluded? Was it? Did you all know something, or was it just because of your name?
I believe they were going to try to use us as leverage against my husband. Of course, thanks to you, they no longer have that opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't like them. They were really mean. Well, okay. I just want to make sure everything is good. And then as long as you guys are be safe. Okay. I'm going to go now. If you all need anything, uh, just let me know. Um, I can answer tons of questions about dragons. If you guys are ever curious about dragons, I can talk to you all about dragons. But that's mostly what I know.
Lady Celia says, Carl, and he kind of like walks over to you carrying what appears to be a small wooden box. And he offers it to you. And he says, this is supposed to be mine, but I think maybe you and your friends can use it better now. So I'll loan it to you, and maybe when like you guys are done fighting and stuff, you can bring it back or whatever.
Okay. Well, thank you. What is it?
It's a family sword.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, like a long sword. You probably know what that is, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
oh, what?
He knows that Achilles uses a longsword, right?
He says, "Oh, well, I like to use my fist and then my dragon key. But I know someone who can use this. And then, thank you.
Okay. I wanted to say thank you for, saving my sister and stuff.
Well, yeah, we didn't want anything bad to happen to you. And you too,
Yeah, I
right? You say
know.
your sister.
You're pretty cool.
Oh, thanks.
Well, because I was gonna be fine, because like I'm tough like you.
Oh, you fight?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, I can't.
No, you're cool.
Oh, really?
He kind of like you notice. Well, if some people would notice in the background, his tail starts to wag a little bit more from the compliment. He says,
Oh, wow. Well, if you ever want to learn like dragon stuff, just let me know. I could tell you all about dragons, like my mom and my sister and everybody else.
That sounds really cool. I'm supposed to go to bed soon, but maybe tomorrow.
"We're leaving tomorrow, right?"
Yeah, I mean, you could probably find him in the morning, but
Okay.
you'll be leaving at some point.
Okay, I'll see you before I leave in the morning.
That would be super cool.
Cool. It's nice to meet you.
And then he does a really deep bow as like a huge sign of respect, holding the sword to his chest as he does it.
You don't see anything from a moment since you're kind of in a deep bow, but when you look up, he's like bowing too, because like what sort of happened is that it was unexpected. He was surprised, and then like when you're on your way back up is when he's like, oh yeah.
He said, okay. Oh, what is your name?
Carl.
Carl. Okay, Carl, I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, Ikara.
Okay, bye.
You see him like raising his hand up to, and then you're gone, and he's like, okay. Well, like an awkward, like, give me
He doesn't know about high fives. I was like, he's like, a high five? What is that? All right. And so he comes back, and then once he comes back into the room, he's going to go straight to Achilles. Says,
this is for you from Carl.
I think at this point, Achilles is still somewhere, wherever they sent him, sharpening blades.
Oh, yep.
Okay. All right, well, what I'm able to find, I see you.
You'd probably be able to find me.
Oh, yeah. He goes by.
Well,
he says,
you can kind of hear like echoing through the tunnels a little bit, the like of like a whetstone, because like it's pretty loud. It's not like roaring thunderous like sound where you guys are at. People could still sleep, but it is like pretty loud. So yeah, you find him.
And as he steps forward, he says,
oh, okay. Achilles, I have something for you. This is from Carl.
A moment, lad. Hold on. And
Okay.
he'll put the axe down that he's busy sharpening and sort of like clean his hands. Well, he'll probably just press the digitation. His hands clean. So it's like, I don't want to get whatever it is dirty. Like, what is it, lad?
It's a family sword. So I guess it's like passed down from like generations to generations. It was meant to be Carl's, but he said it'd probably be better for us since we're trying to help everyone. So I remember you used long swords, so I thought this would work for you.
Well, let's take a look. He opens up the casket box thing.
It is a really pretty sword, actually. There's a sapphire on the pommel. Like the pommel is taken up by a sapphire. It's not like fully silvered, but the like the wrappings that go around the hilt have like silver thread running through it, so that when the light hits it, the thread kind of glitters like on the hilt ropes. And then that goes into a like a silver pommel that looks like it's been encrusted with some more sapphire, like tiny particles of sapphire were kind of in the silver mixture that makes up the hilt, and then that like runs into the blade, which has like intricate drawings in it that you gather are supposed to be waves. And the waves kind of roll along the blade like they're moving until the wave like collapses like it's hitting into something at the top point of the blade.
Achilles will, take it out of the box, put the box down nicely, and hold it with two hands, and just test it for weight and balance and everything, and just to see how good it is. And this is beautiful. Like, wait, are they sure? Like that? I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen this much money in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's expensive?
Well, I'm pretty certain that's a sapphire there. Hold on. He'll sit down, cross-legged, and I'm gonna take 10 minutes and cast Identify on it.
It is a unique weapon. It is the Mariner's Ice Blade. The Mariner name came from mariners, so sort of like early adventurers. It's been passed down through. The Identify spell gives you what the weapon will actually do as well, right?
Yeah.
It has 2 daily charges that will actually freeze the blade, coating it in ice, causing it to deal additional ice damage with every successful hit.
Right. Is this an actual thing I could find in D&D Beyond, or is something I'm gonna have to write down?
I'm gonna make the custom weapon for you and attach it to your character sheet.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is unique.
So, Achilles' eye. Well, at this point, they are, wrapped up. Anyway, well, they're not covered with his usual bandana thing because he's had the wrappings around his arm because he was doing the blacksmith work. But his is usually sort of like scarred over eyes. They, while he's busy with the blade, they flash with this golden sort of light color. And after 10 minutes, says, "This is a very special weapon they've given us here, Ikara."
Mm-hmm. He did say give it back when we're done.
Well, yeah. Well, it's rather unexpected. Like, I mean, you know how I was saying earlier about paths and roads and fate leading you in directions. I mean, this just feels special,
Yes, I met someone who was cool. He kind of likes me.
Well, who wouldn't like?
Oh, a lot, it seems.
Oh, they're just silly. But, tell you what, lad, how about I put these things away and we go join the others?
Okay, I'll see you back in the room.
All right, I'll be along shortly.
Okay, bye-bye.
You see you dart off.
He never goes anywhere anything other than full speed.
Nope. Runs always full speed. Unless if he's surrounded, if he's walking with somebody, then he'll keep the speed with everybody else. But if he's by himself, straight run mode. Oh, be right back. Food is on the way. Be right back. We guys can keep going.
I take it you're all going to long rest for the evening?
Yeah.
I wanted to actually talk to Nuvian for a moment.
Okay.
Was he in the room or is he like somewhere else?
He'd probably be in the room, meditating.
Both.
Underground.
He's in the room and also somewhere else.
Just Nuvian. Nuvian.
Yes.
Are you busy?
No.
Good. I had a bit of a question for you. I know that you and Ikara are brothers, but it really feels like you two think very differently. I wanted to know what your opinion was on bringing the dragons here to help us.
I don't trust these people. The car is still pretty young. I myself am still considered to be young, but a century gives you perspective. I don't buy our friend's story that he is just now finding about what's been going on. So I would like to minimize the chances that something will happen. But more allies isn't a bad thing.
Well, it seems Ikara really has his mind set on gathering more dragons. He even asked me about other dragons and he wants to find them and ask them to join us.
Our kin can be very temperamental. And Ikara has still much to learn about them. But his heart is in the right place. So we will look for them in time. Though I would prefer if we handle other things first.
Like?
I'd like to find Achilles' father if possible. After that, I'd like to learn a bit more about this ritual. It's not easy to bind another to your will, let alone a dragon.
Yes, I'd like to get my hands on one of those crystals. But I might have something for Achilles regarding his father. Though I feel like he's maybe isn't in the best state of mind to possibly hear that at the moment.
I believe you are wise and can understanding, and you are far better with people than I am. So trust your gut on that.
I have a better. You're the one who's always able to really, see into people. You're quite good at it.
So seeing the things we like to hide is useful, but it does not make you many friends.
True. I don't know. I don't have many friends. Well, except for all of you, I would say.
Yes. If you were to have one of these crystals, do you think you could understand or perhaps recreate the ritual that was used to create them?
Maybe? I don't know if I could do it perfectly, but I'd really have to get my hands on one of the crystals before I could definitively say anything.
I would like to ask a favor of you, if possible, Serna. There is a person I would like to find at least one day. There's no need to rush, but if your friends or connections could help me, I would appreciate it.
I can certainly try.
Her name is Agathi.
Don't need to
The
type that
only,
out.
if it helps. I'll do it on the Discord.
Okay.
We were fellow students at one point, but we decided to separate to pursue our studies.
I see.
I'm worried about her. But so if you are able to find anything about her, I would be in your debt.
I will definitely try and find your friend, Nivian.
Thank you, Sona.
Of course, and she'll leave him alone after that.
Anything else before people go to sleep for the evening?
Disco party.
Do.
Prestidigitation.
All right, you all bed down for the evening. Click the button. Complete your long rest as you are awoken by a knock on the door.
Serena won't get it.
Achilles
so-
is already up doing push-ups.
It is still he's either sleeping or meditating. You're not too sure, and he will. Is someone there?
Yes, it's a feminine voice that you do not recognize.
Give us a
Onion,
moment.
like?
What was that?
Achilles, what did you say?
I mean, you need a moment though. Like, I was thinking they could come right in. Maybe do give us a moment. I guess Serena's still asleep. Like, we should probably wake her. Right?
No.
As
Serena.
you say Serena, Cog jumps through the alarm.
Like, huh? Just wake up. It's like, yes.
We may be about to have visitors in a moment, so you may want to be prepared.
Oh, I look horrible. I don't want visitors.
I always find this is fantastic, and he will just like cast prestidigitation, just
In the door. Oh, on Serena. Okay.
yeah.
Serena, you feel as though your face has been washed, even though it hasn't.
It's so convenient.
Oh.
Like, I love it.
It is. I do feel a little bit refreshed. Who's that? Like, point to the door.
You may enter.
A woman steps inside wearing red robes and with black hair. Excuse me, I feel as though I needed to deliver this message personally. The monastery that you sent me to?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, the monks sent me away after I delivered the letter with a rather disturbing message. Something about a war with red dragons. And that's where we're going to end this
What?
episode.
You oh my!
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Cliffhanger.
Oh no! I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that.
Cliffhanger.
So Utis is oh my. Okay, all right.
Dum dum dum.
Okay. Well, I gotta close it out. Yeah, I was not ready for that. Thank you all so much for coming by to this stream. We definitely appreciate it. You know, it's always great to see you all in chat and watching our content. If you would like to talk with us about the campaign, again, you can join us at our Discord, which I will post in chat. Place here below. Like I said, we will definitely answer, of course, asking the questions. You know, talk anything about the campaign. We have a non-spoiler as well as a spoiler section in place. In case you missed some of the content on the stream, the VOD, of course, is available on Twitch immediately after this. However, if with a higher quality product, a higher quality video, we do upload our videos on YouTube every Wednesday at around 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so you can be able to check us out there on YouTube. You can give us a like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And yes, again, I was shocked, was not ready for that, but I'm super looking forward to our next episode. So I hope you all enjoy it, and we look forward to see you all next Saturday for episode 12 of It's Our World. Farewell for now.